All right, let's dive into something a little strange, a little profound. We're going to unpack this incredible parable called The First Sprout and the Alms of the Self. And trust me, it's a wild ride, all about what it truly costs to become something more. So, right out of the gate, we're hit with this massive paradox. It's the whole foundation of the story. The greatest gain is found through the most absolute loss. I mean, think about that for a second. To get everything, you have to give up, well, everything. This one idea is what kicks off our jester's entire journey. So, picture this, a mountain cave. And the story doesn't just start, it erupts. The earth literally groans as this thing tears its way into existence. This isn't some gentle little seedling sprouting. No, its arrival is treated like an earthquake, a major event. And yeah, you can throw your high school biology textbook out the window. This thing isn't a green leaf, it's a shard of crystalline shadow. It's sharp, it's hungry, it even makes the air cold. It's pretty obvious we're not talking about a plant you'd find in your garden. This is something else entirely, something metaphysical. So if it's not sunlight and water, what does it eat? That's the million-dollar question for the jester, right? And the answer, well, it's a whole lot more demanding and a whole lot more personal. Turns out this plant has a very specific diet. It feeds on abstract things. Things like the dissolution of his comfort, the breakdown of his normal life. It also needs this thing called twilight knowledge. Basically, all the tough, unsettling truths the jester learned out in the wild. So to keep this thing alive, he has to literally feed it pieces of himself, pieces of his own experience. And you can imagine, this sets up a huge internal conflict for him. He looks back into his cave, at his straw bed, and the last embers in his fireplace. And these aren't just things, they're symbols. They're the last tethers he has to what the story calls the animal man, that part in all of us that just wants to be safe, warm, and comfortable. So the choice he's facing is massive. It's a leap from one way of being to another. On one side, you've got the animal man, who's all about comfort, home, and being tied to the past. On the other, you have the overman. This is a big philosophical idea. The overman isn't tied to anything. They're a force of nature in charge of their own destiny, even their own destruction. So this is way bigger than just getting rid of a bed. It's about deciding to become something else. And this quote really nails it down. The overman cannot be a householder. You just can't be one. You can't cling to the safety of a house. Your new home has to be chaos, the dynamic flux of the abyss. It's a total radical flip on what it even means to have a place in the world. So, he makes his choice. And it's not impulsive, it's a deliberate act. Step 1, he takes stock of everything tying him down. Step 2, he acts. He just tosses it all into the sprout's mouth. And step 3, the change happens. He can actually feel that attachment to comfort just shrivel up and die, and this new, raw energy takes its place. And the effect is instantaneous. As the sprout eats his memories, his nostalgia, it grows. But it's not just getting bigger. Its branches start to form a pattern, like a map of his own mind. Specifically, his integrated shadow, that dark, hidden part of the psyche. The plant on the outside is a perfect mirror of his transformation on the inside. This next line is just wow. He was no longer just a gardener, but the compost for his own apotheosis. What a way to put it. He's not just taking care of the plant anymore, he is the plant's food. His own being is the fertilizer for his own transformation into a god. That's what apotheosis means. Just incredible. It really just boils down to this. He was becoming the tree as much as he was feeding it. That line between him and the plant, it's gone, completely dissolved. They're one thing now, creating each other. Okay, so you might be asking, what's the point of all this? Why go through such an extreme act of self-destruction? Well, there is an endgame. There's a single ultimate purpose behind the whole thing. And that purpose is a concept called the revaluation of all values. It sounds complicated, but it's basically this. You take all the beliefs and morals you were given, all the things you just accepted, and you destroy them. You tear it all down so you can build your own set of values from scratch, ones that are genuinely yours. And the jester gets it. He has this moment of clarity where he realizes his old identity, his old self, wasn't really him. It was just a shell, a container. And for the seed of his true potential to grow, that shell had to be cracked wide open. And then the raven shows up. In stories, ravens are almost never just birds. They're messengers, symbols, and this one lands on the branches of the sprout, which are now basically the jester's own limbs. It's like the final stamp on the whole deal. The man he used to be, he's gone. For good. So, what does this new state of being actually look like? Well, for starters, he's totally transcended basic human stuff. He doesn't feel cold anymore. He doesn't get hungry. His personal will and the plant's will to grow are the exact same thing. And that cave he used to live in? It's not a home. It's just a monument to the person who used to live there. And if we look even deeper, down into the roots of this new being, we see something really interesting. You have the shadow, all his accepted darkness, intertwined with the child, a symbol of pure, untapped potential. This combination creates a foundation so strong it can handle the ultimate test, the idea of eternal recurrence. That's the thought experiment of having to live your exact same life over and over again, forever. Could you say yes to that? He now can. And finally, we get the climax, the culmination of all this sacrifice. The plant blossoms. And it's not a rose or a daisy. It's a violet black flower. And the smell? It's not perfume. It smells of ozone. That electric smell after a lightning strike? It smells of power. It smells of liberation. And this brings us full circle, right back to that paradox from the beginning. He has absolutely nothing left to give. He's completely empty, and because of that, he now has everything to become. He's reached a state of pure potential. The transformation is total. The person known as the jester isn't really a person anymore. He's just the story of how this new thing came to be. The story itself has outgrown the man. So where does this leave us? The parable isn't just a weird story. It's a mirror. The jester gave up his bed and his fire, his physical comforts. But the real question it's asking is for you, for me. What's the human, all too human comfort that's holding you back? What belief, what habit, what safety net would you have to sacrifice to really, truly grow? It's a heavy question for sure, something to think about.